everyone, this is Daisy Margaret. In today's video, we are about to discuss Class 6, Term 3, Unit 3, Chemistry in Daily Life, Part 2. Topics to be discussed: soaps and detergents, fertilizers. Soaps and detergents. These are the two things that we use in our daily life. Bathing soap and washing detergents are kinds of soaps which we use in our daily life. In addition to this, we are using wash powder to remove strong stains on the clothes. So, the bathing soap and washing detergents, these are some of the kinds of soaps which we use in our daily life. There are different kinds of soaps. So, in addition to this, we also use a wash powder, that is, detergents, to remove the stains on the clothes. The detergent molecules have two sides. One side water loving, other water hating. Water hating goes and joins with the dirt and oil in the cloth, while the water loving joins with the water molecules. So you can see here the detergent molecules, they have two sides. One is water loving and the other one is water hating. This water hating goes and joins with the dirt and oil in the cloth, while the water loving joins with the water molecules. When you agitate the cloth, the dirt is surrounded by many molecules and is taken away from the cloth. The cloth becomes clean and the dirt is surrounded by the detergent molecules float in the water, making it dirty. When you beat or shake the cloth, the dirt is surrounded by many molecules and it is taken away from the cloth and the cloth becomes clean. And these dirt particles, the dirt is surrounded by the detergent molecules and they float in the water, making it dirty. So, this is how the soap or detergent works to remove the dirt from the cloth. We can prepare our own soap by the following activity. Activity is preparation of soap. The materials required are 35 ml of water, 10 gram of lye sodium hydroxide and 60 ml of coconut oil. So, how to do it? The process: cover your work area with old newspaper. Take 35 ml of water in a jar. Add 10 gram of concentrated sodium hydroxide and allow it to cool. Then add 60 ml of coconut oil drop by drop and stir it well. Pour that solution into an empty matchbox. Soap can be obtained after getting dry. Try the soap to wash your handkerchief. So, to prepare a soap, what is the process? You have to cover your area with an old newspaper. You are taking 35 ml of water in a jar. Now, to that 35 ml of water in a jar, you are adding 10 gram of concentrated sodium hydroxide. The chemical sodium hydroxide, the concentrated sodium hydroxide is added to the water of about 10 gram and we are allowing it to cool. And then you are adding 60 ml of coconut oil drop by drop by stirring the water and the sodium hydroxide well. Now you have to pour that solution. The solution consists of water, concentrated sodium hydroxide and coconut oil. So that solution is poured into an empty matchbox. So once the soap is dried, you can take it out from the matchbox and you can try to wash your handkerchief. So you can try this soap. Different soaps for different purposes are prepared with various raw materials. We can understand this by doing the following activity. The activity is: collect various kinds of soaps wrapper. Complete the following table based on the information provided in the wrapper. So you can see here, this is the tabular column that is given in your book. So we have various soaps. We have bathing soap, washing soap, bathing soap for kids, toilet cleaners and house floor cleaner liquid. Nature of the soaps varies according to their constituents. So whatever soap you are using at home, you can take the wrapper and you can write down the ingredients. I have given you here some examples. So you can see here I have mentioned the name of the bathing soap and I have mentioned the ingredients used in that. The same way for all the others I have done. Chemistry in daily life. The soaps and detergents, it gets clothes cleaner and cleans your body. Fertilizers, it helps plants to grow. Organic fertilizers restore soil fertility. And here this is adhesives. So this helps the materials fixing up together. Cement, so this is the important material that is used in the construction. So we use this for constructing houses, industries, factories and all those things. Plaster of Paris, so this is used in surgery for setting fractured bones and used for making casts for statues and toys. Gypsum and Epsom. So these are helpful to humans, plants and animals and environment. The next topic that we are about to discuss is fertilizers. You very well know what are fertilizers. So apart from water, sunlight and air, certain nutrients are also needed for the growth of plants. We know that the plants get their nutrients from the soil. So fertilizers other than water, sunlight and air, some other certain nutrients, some other important nutrients are also needed for the growth of plants. So we know that the plants, they get their nutrients from the soil. Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium are the three important nutrients among the various nutrients. Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium are the three important nutrients among the various nutrients needed for the growth of plants. These three are called as principal nutrients. So what are the three important nutrients? Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. They are called as principal nutrients because they are needed for the growth of plants. These are the three important nutrients that are needed for the growth of plants. So nitrogen, it is mentioned by the symbol N. Phosphorus, it is mentioned by the symbol P. And potassium, it is mentioned by the symbol K. So NPK, these are the principal nutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. The table given below depicts the quantity of elements absorbed by certain common plants. So the crop is given and what is the yield? That is per hectare kg approximately they have given, and they have given the nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, how much the quantity of elements is absorbed by this common plants. So from the table you can see the quantity of elements absorbed by certain common plants. What would happen to the nutrient content of the soil if the field is farmed continuously? So what will happen when the nutrient content of the soil, once if the field is farmed again and again? Okay, if the field is farmed again and again, what will happen to the nutrient that is present in the soil? That is the question. So we have the answer for that. When a farmer continues to grow crops one after the other, then all the nutrients available in the soil reduce and the crop yield decreases automatically. So once the farmer is using that field and he is growing crops one after the other, all the nutrients available in the soil, they will get reduced, and what will happen? They will be having a decrease in the crop yield automatically. How could we resend these nutrients back to the soil? Nutrients are replenished by certain different microorganisms that are found in the soil, or also by the death of certain plants such as the rhizobium bacteria. The decaying plants tend to slowly break down into the basic soil nutrients over a period of time. So, how we can resend the nutrients back to the soil? The nutrients, they are refilled or they are filled by certain different microorganisms that are found in the soil, or also by the death of plants, okay, the bacteria such as rhizobium, and also the decaying of plants, they tend to slowly break down these chemicals or these nutrients back into the soil. So these are the basic soil nutrients that are turning over a period of time. The decaying plants will slowly break down into the basic soil nutrients over a period of time. So this is how we can resend the nutrients back to the soil. Fertilizers are organic or inorganic materials that we add to the soil to provide one or more nutrients to the soil. Fertilizers given to the plants can be classified into two. They are organic and inorganic fertilizers. So the fertilizers, they are both organic and inorganic materials that we add to the soil to provide one or more nutrients to the soil. So these fertilizers which are given to the plants can be classified into two. They are organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers. Let us discuss about organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers. Organic fertilizers. Fertilizers containing only plant or animal based materials or those synthesized by microorganisms are called organic fertilizers. These fertilizers can be prepared easily. This type of fertilizers are economical. Example, vermicompost, compost. Okay, so what are organic fertilizers? Organic fertilizers contain only plant or animal based materials and also some of the microorganisms. So, if it contains all these things, they are called as organic fertilizers. These fertilizers, it can be prepared easily. This kind of fertilizers, this type of fertilizers are very economical. So it is cheap of cost, and the example for the organic fertilizer is vermicompost or compost. Okay, the thing which we prepare from the peels of the vegetables, kitchen waste, they are also called as organic fertilizers. This is the vermicompost, the fertilizers that we get with the use of earthworms, with the help of earthworms. So these are organic fertilizers. Inorganic fertilizers. The fertilizers prepared by using natural elements by making them undergo chemical changes in the factories are called inorganic fertilizers. Example, urea, ammonium sulfate and superphosphate. So you would have heard these names. So some of the natural materials they are using to prepare these inorganic fertilizers, they undergo some chemical changes and we get this inorganic fertilizers. So the examples are urea, ammonium sulfate and superphosphate. You would have heard these names. The farmers use them in the field. The table given below lists the nutrients in the inorganic fertilizers. So you can see here the name of the fertilizer is given and we can see how much of nutrient is present in that. So in urea, 46% of nitrogen only is available. In superphosphate, 8 to 9% of phosphorus is available. In ammonium sulfate, 21% of nitrogen. In potassium nitrate, 13% of nitrogen and 44% of potassium are available. If we use 50 kg of urea, then according to the table, 23 kg of nitrogen, that is 46%, will be added to the soil. The percentage of nitrogen in ammonium sulfate is, if 50 kg of potassium nitrate is added to the soil, how much potassium would the soil get? I have given you the table again, so you can read the question once again and you can try to answer those questions. If we use 50 kg of urea, then according to the table, 23 kg of nitrogen, that is 46%, will be added to the soil. The percentage of nitrogen in ammonium sulfate is, if 50 kg of potassium nitrate is added to the soil, how much potassium would the soil get? Do you know? Earthworms take organic waste as food and produce compost castings. So, earthworms are known as farmers' friends because of the multitude of services they provide to improve soil health and consequently plant health. So the earthworms, what they do, they take the organic waste as food and they produce compost castings. So these earthworms, they are called as, or they are known as the farmer's friend because of the multitude of services they provide to improve the soil health and consequently plant health. They take the organic waste and they produce the compost castings. So these earthworms, they do multitude of services. They improve the soil, they improve the health of the soil, it provides nutrients to the soil, and also it increases the plant health. Activity: make a visit to agriculture field in your area. List out the various crops and the type of fertilizers used there. So I have given you some three examples. For rice and wheat, the name of the fertilizer is urea and potassium nitrate. For tomato, it is superphosphate, and for potato and mango, it is potassium nitrate. Summary of the video: we discussed about soaps and detergents and we learned how to make a soap, and finally we discussed about fertilizers and types of fertilizers, that is organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers. This is to be continued. If you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.